using. down
Have we
there
been
for-
muted?
Can't hear you.
We were muted. We were muted. Now we have to see if
Go ahead.
they are not muted. Carl, could you try talking for a minute so we can make sure we've got you?
Sure, you were muted and I was wondering if we had begun yet.
Sorry about that. Yes, we did begin and we've had, can I take a quick synopsis? So we have two members of the public joining us, Susan Kwasniewski, I hope, and Jeff Pulaski. And Jeff was, what we were just talking about was Jeff was talking about the use of the fire pit area at the Girl Scout camp. And well, and the cords of wood have recently been brought in, all cut up, and is suggesting signage in that area. Now so now I'm going to ask the question that's separate from the other fire pit. There's another fire pit area.
Yes, we had
Okay,
earlier
I'm
discussions
sorry, I didn't
about
know
a
that.
Similar issue down by Orchard Road, entrance to Hatchery, goes by the garden. You, what, I forgot the name of the road.
Sheer property.
Yeah, but there was an old house there that actually Boy Scout firmed up a bit and built up, but there were locals using.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole new stuff that we're here too.
There
Because
is,
we're talking about a different place.
Different place too.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from though.
People who use it.
Yeah.
So that is, okay.
So can I ask who's brought in cordwood to the Girl Scout camp and where exactly in the Girl Scout camp it is?
There was a lean-to sheltered area for wood that was there originally, has the plaque on it when the Eagle Scout did refurbish that area. And I would say over the past, let's say 3 weeks total, because I don't go down there every few days. Right now, it's basically full of wood.
And have anybody been burning there?
The only thing I've seen this summer, no. Last winter, fall, spring, yes. I would call the police on a regular basis. The fire pit looks like it has charred holes in it, like it has been used, but I haven't noticed any fires recently, like over the past 2-3 weeks.
We don't issue permits for that. Would Steve Woods or anybody like that have some stuff on that? Because to my knowledge, there's no legal burning. We could argue about the thing on Sheer, but I don't think there's any legal stuff going on at the Girl Scout camp. Somebody could disagree with me if you'd like.
No, that's my recollection. I don't, again, down by the Sheer property, there has been some limited, I forgot the group, but and I don't think they did it last year, but they have an overnight or something there, but very limited. And there's never been anything formalized that I can think of at the Girl Scout camp. So perhaps we talked to Steve about the fire pit. Does that need to belong there? Wait, is that the one that you said with the Boy Scout built? Or the Lean-to?
No, the Eagle Scout project
Yeah.
was, I guess he roofed and then he built a lean-to. It's a substantial, probably the size of this table. And put the fire pit in, put the seating on each side of the fire pit. It's an attractive nuisance. I mean, I can understand that.
I can check with the fire department to see if they know about that, but
They do.
I don't think that they do. To be honest with you, that's a liability and something that's not really. I don't think that doesn't follow what we would talk about. We have talked about over the last several months in terms of leave no trace and stuff like that. There's not a whole lot of need for it in town, in my opinion.
Last spring, I had reported the police and the fire and somebody from the fire department came to my house afterwards and we talked about it. So I don't know whether it was just a volunteer or And I have reported to the police on probably, I'm gonna say 5 or 6 occasions now. And they usually respond, takes a while because they gotta go get their ATV and get out there.
So just to be clear, sir, we're not talking about the place that's on Sheer, because that's what this sounds like right now. It sounds
Yeah,
like.
it's part of the old shear.
Oh, okay, so it's right next to that structure that was near the old spring-fed pond. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about. So that's not the Girl Scout camp at all. That's a separate parcel. Yeah, that was. So that's a little something different, and Mr. Chairman, I do think we've had to clarify that issue in terms of, is there a process by which that we would and I think our guest called it an attractive nuisance, obviously, but if we've got seasoned cordwood going in there, that was not that was never the intent, nor do I think that we should be sponsoring, like burning there on a regular basis. But yeah, so I'm familiar because I'm on the fire department. I've been out there a couple of times, and so I think this is something different than I thought we were talking about. Yeah, we have to clarify that and put some signage up that says either no burning or you got to burn by permit only, and we don't have a process for a permit. I don't know if anybody disagrees.
So I think that's being orchestrated, the permit through the Parks and Rec, because they're the ones that have the permitting system. I think I found the record of that and recorded it at a meeting, it was quite a while ago, probably 5 months, 6 months. But then we were supposed to get signage, and I'm wondering if that fell through between me, Jim, and Steve. So, well, I'll check with Steve. I put a big asterisk here to check with Steve. And well,
So just to make sure. You may hike it from outside or
Yes.
Fields there. So if you walk through the field and prepare to the right, that's what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to pull it up
We
on
go
the
into
map.
the second field and then it's just a trail to the right.
Right, it's not the Girl Scout camp. It's the Sheer Park.
That's Cinder Block Building.
Yeah, the Cinder Block Building. Oh, I was informed. I've only been in Berlin since the mid-90s, so I'm a
Oh,
newbie.
we're glad that you,
Hold on 1 minute, if everybody will. I'm gonna share the map, and we're gonna make sure we're all on the same property. Because I've yet to find the Girl Scout property myself.
well, you don't have to. find it
I've
out.
been here even less time, but yeah, I don't have, so it's, we've got, let's see, Orchard in here. So in this area, everybody, can you guys all see the screen?
Yeah,
Map?
it's just to the north of that little spring-fed pond there. Yep, right there.
Right in this area, okay. All right, I just needed that for myself as well as others to make sure we're talking about the same apples to apples.
And Maureen,
Oh, there's the building.
We did not talk about, the signage was no fires, no overnight camping, no permit.
Right,
Such a
right.
minor limited use that-
Right, that it's, well, I was gonna say only by, yeah. I knew it was very,
No fire permit.
Yeah,
No
actually,
fire
you can see the
permit.
fire pit and the 2 benches.
is that here?
Got a little round circle with the 2,
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Okay.
and the lean-to is just a little bit to the north of it. Yeah, the dark square there, right in there. That's full. That's just been sold.
Ready for the cool weather.
Now,
Bear
one
with
other
me
thing,
for a
I'll
minute,
just
I'm gonna
mention it,
remind myself.
'cause I mentioned it early. Part of the reason that it's really visible from my property now is the beavers have dammed up part of the brook. And a lot of trees have died in that area because now they're in water as opposed to near water. So there's a lot less foliage and it's a lot more open than it was. I don't know if the beavers are an issue, but that's neither here nor there. That's Mother Nature.
Yeah, unless it backs up and.
Okay.
Well, good, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. Is been ongoing.
You know,
And it's good to have set eyes out there too.
well, yeah, it's sit on my back deck and watch it.
That's good.
Part, one of the things is don't want to see it become the place to be. So,
Yep, no, thank you.
thank you for.
So we're gonna definitely find out more signs on. Thank you. Your turn.
At Timberland Park, Timberland Golf Course, there's a very nice trail that runs parallel to a road next to the golf course.
Yeah.
The first trail entrance on the left has been primarily flooded out most of this summer. And it could benefit from a little bridge in front of the wood or something. sweet. Nothing complicated, because when you do the rest of the trail and there's a couple of just wood and planks. It's been inaccessible most of the summer. And
Maureen, I'm sorry, Maureen, I'm having a hard time hearing our guest.
Okay, I'm gonna try to turn everything up.
So she was describing what the trail along Timberland Park. Well, it'd probably be easier once we're pulling that up.
Can you hear Mike okay?
Yeah, I can hear Michael most of the time. Not he's got a loud voice.
I'm
I'll
wondering.
let our guest speak again, because I don't want to take.
Want to try talking again?
there is a trail at the golf course, at Timberland Golf Course. It runs parallel to a street
Little
road. The golf course is on one side, there's a sweet trail on the other side. The first entrance on the left has a pocket that's been flooded most of the summer. Just in the last 2 weeks has dried up. Benefit from a couple of planks that you could access that particular section of the trail.
Yeah, Carl, go ahead.
So I'm sorry that I didn't hear everything correctly. But I am familiar with that particular trail that runs just to the, I believe, north of what we call the Soapbox Derby Road at Timberland Park. Are you suggesting that that some bog bridging or something would enhance that trail, or are you offering to put that bog bridging in there? I don't know.
I'm suggesting it could be done. I didn't know my doing it was an option. Somebody placed a piece of wood on it to be kind of a step across, and I tried that, nearly took out an ankle. So
Okay, no, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be a wise guy. Not this time anyway. Yeah, we can bring that to the attention, Mr. Chairman, of this CFPA, because that's part of the Hatchery Brook Loop Trail, which for everybody's benefit is a 15-mile loop trail that goes all the way out to, like to West Peak, East Peak, comes across Cat Hole Pass into some of our conservation areas. So I think that a quick call to CFPA would probably would and with our guests' concerns that it's been wet, and it has been very, very wet, but CFPA or their agents have put a lot of bog bridging in across their Chamberlain Highway and things like that. So I appreciate our guests' view on that. I haven't walked it in a while. Aesthetically, it's not the greatest section of trail. In my opinion, it should be a little closer to the to that road anyway. But thank you for bringing that, and I can certainly bring it to CFPA.
probably somewhere here.
In this area?
I park here
I
and then
can
you walk
zoom
past
in.
the loop. It's approximately somewhere in here.
Zoom in a little more. Oh, wow, I'm zooming too.
It's difficult to see even when you walk it.
Maureen, if you went to the Berlin GIS site and went on trails, it'd probably be easier
Yeah.
there. But it's
Okay.
you know it's right. It's exactly where you pointed. It's in a weird spot between, you know, Timberland and the development just to the north.
On the gallery or on the story map? What do you think? Probably the gallery. Yeah.
Yeah, there. I think there, and then
Yeah. Not so
Uh,
much.
so can you zero in on that?
No, hold on. Let me go to the other one.
Okay.
Story map instead. I never know which, I never remember which one has the maps that I want to look at. I guess it is the, oh no, there they are.
It'll be Timberland Park.
Oh, it's not one of these?
It's Timberland Park, right? To your
Oh,
right.
there we go. My directions were over it. There we go.
So it's that. Yeah, right. Exactly. To your right. To your right. Yeah.
In here.
Yeah,
somewhere.
right where. Yeah,
Nope, a little bit further.
a little bit further.
Right there, that's the entrance.
In this loop.
It's just, it's the very, very front. You can't even get to that loop. It's right where
Okay.
the cursor is right now.
All
It's
righty.
been flooded almost all summer.
Carl, is that something that you could send an email to?
For sure, for sure. And you know, like I said, it's not for my money. That was laid out probably close to 10 or 15 years ago. I don't love that trail. I think it just as easily could come down on the road and be almost as pleasing. But and we've had some problems with, if you guys remember, we've had some problems with there's an ATV track back there, and there was like some sort of kids camp that, remember that guy? I don't know if you remember that we had to clear out a kids camp at some point. Like there were tents and chairs and a swing and everything like that. So it's just in a weird spot, you know, but it is wet and low in places. And yeah, we can actually, what I would prefer to do is just have CFPA, one of the experienced trail managers, come through there and take a look at it all the way from Chamberlain Highway down to the golf course at the Don Bates Drive.
And ask them for recommendations, Carl?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it was laid out a while ago. I don't know if drainage has changed. You know, there may have been stuff that's gone in that's if it's never flooded before, there may be something new going on. I don't know, somebody put in something, or I don't know, but you know, it's not necessarily a low spot. But it's just not very pleasing. You know, the CFPA likes to put trails in the woods, and I get that because that's what they're about. But that's just like, it's like a little woods between a golf course and some houses. So I don't think it's, you know, like I'd like to, yeah, like, so exactly. I'd like to have somebody come in and revisit that whole.
That would be sad if it would be gotten rid of, because it's, for some people, it's just enough. Well, actually, that whole corner of the golf course has been flooded too. There's a whole entire bed patch. Yeah, it's.
And last year was probably cold dry. 'Cause it didn't really go that far. Well, that's a good idea. Thanks, Carl. And thank you too for bringing that up. That's the way we learn about it. So the CFPA is great. Thank you, Park Safety, a great partner. It's just a lot of things like this, and trail maintenance. That's what we're talking about chainsaws and things like that. Talking about them. Some of the long stones.
Yeah, that's.
They do that too. It happens. Anyway, thank you. Appreciate you using it and telling us all about it. So we have a couple things to do. All right. You're welcome to stay a while. So we have the minutes from the last month's meeting, so. Want to take a motion?
So moved.
Second. Joe, is there something on there that I remember we had a discussion last month? Is there something that needs to be?
No, I don't think so.
Seconded by Tom, all in favor of the minutes as written? For,
Aye.
Aye, so moved, thank you. Okay. Maureen. Approved rec trails.
Okay, so Jim Mahoney is looking to apply for grant funding for the repaving and ongoing improvements and upkeep to the exit. Can you guys hear me? I'm sorry, I turned away. That was silly of me. The upkeep of the existing network of accessible trails. And tomorrow night, he is going to be doing a public outreach presentation during the audience of citizens for Park and Rec for that. So it's kind of an FYI as well as an interest to the commission because it is trails, but those are accessible trails and they're administered by the Parks Department because that's a park instead of a conservation area.
Let's go.
Can we make some sort of motion? Because we've commented on this stuff before. Can we make some sort of motion or to support that? I mean, they did pave half of them and then they ran out of money for the other half. And I think it's a wonderful resource for some folks who would use our passive recreation, things like Timberland or Ragged or Short Mountain, who don't because they can't. You know, I know personally my father-in-law goes to Pistol Creek 5 times a week, and I just like to somehow support that. You know what I mean? But I you know, if that's not our bailiwick, I get it.
Sounds like you were forming a motion.
So I'd like to make a motion to support any effort to any grant funded or other effort to improve or maintain the accessible trails at Pistol Creek as an opportunity for all of our citizens to participate in outdoor passive recreation opportunities.
I second that motion. Thank you, Tom. Any other comments? I do want to make one comment. I say this all the time. That Pistol Creek is a very popular area and it's used as Carl's father-in-law to attest to its use all the time, and it is accessible to a lot of different types of people. So it's a great thing. And this is part of a state program that the grant is related to, but separate from the open space grants. So it's the trails. So thank you. All in favor of the motion is stated? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So very, very well put, and we do support it. Thank you.
Just for the record, because we're on kind of that virtual and tape thing, just say that all were in favor or unanimously in favor or something. Thank you.
Trail signs at miscellaneous public access points. So.
Go for it.
So
See if I have
this is-
anything
this is
different.
This is kind of an ongoing project for us. We've been talking about this and actually doing a bunch of things with signage at access points for town-owned open space. One of the things that we always wanted to do, and never really were able to, was to, I use the word codify, but I don't know if that's the right word, but to kind of put down what we have on a map and then also identify areas that need to have additional signage or need new signage put in. And we talk, usually we have the small little access point signs and we also have the big gateway signs. But along with that, we also have the ongoing challenge of finding access points or enhancing existing access points for off-road parking and as well as pedestrian or on-foot access points. So I did speak with Guy about this before, because again, this has been one of those ongoing things that we wanted to do. And Guy graciously volunteered to review what we have and put it down, and hopefully we can get a layer or add it to our existing open space layers on GIS, and also identify some new areas. And Guy, I think I understand that you also recruited Carl for this task too.
I didn't recruit him, but I will.
Well, I know that your knee has been bothering you, and Carl can be some legs for you, and between the two of you, I know you know a lot of spaces, a lot of places, so figure it out.
I would be happy to help, Guy.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm headed for knee surgery, so yeah, I'm gonna be limited on some of the field kind of stuff to be able to do, but
Thank you. So, and again, maybe we'll find some new projects or new areas where we can, enhance. Because that's a big thing for us. We've always been talking about that for years. It's one thing to have open space, but it's as important is to be able to have people find it and use it. So, yes, Carl.
Sorry, just at risk of being a blowhard, we have done such a great job. I'm on these properties pretty much every other week, and not to blow our own horn or whatever, but we've done a really good job at marking these things. Compared to 10 years ago, there are signs, they're branded, they're consistent, they're not vandalized, on our main parcels, and it's much better than it was. There's work to be done for sure, and I'm happy to help with that, but it's so much better than it was 10 years ago.
No, thank you. And part of that, the horn there has to go to Jim Mahoney and Steve Wood and his group too. They help out a lot. So shout out to them. Good, thanks. Thanks, guys. And we're trying to get an updated map here too. We have some samples, but the colors are a little off because they're not green.
I just want to put the caveat out there. The colors are there because we're talking to each other on the telephone as far as getting them improved, and green, light green, dark green, medium green, like the different colors for the working version. And in contrast to the zoning map, which has green on it as well, and including for a couple of the zones, when you're talking to the same people that are doing the zoning map, when you're talking about updating maps, this just is made easier for the working copy. The finalized version, after it's checked 10 more times, I do believe there are open space areas probably not delineated on there from both conservation easements and most particularly conservation easements, as well as perhaps some of the newer mapping that newer subdivisions that may have areas added and private conservation areas.
That's an intern project that we've also been talking about for years. So, but anyway,
Somebody
so
needs to
Guy,
drop an intern at the door.
We're working on getting you a fresh copy of your taped up one there that we're all happy that you have all the time. So,
Would you like me to throw one of these in the mail to you, Guy? Can't hear you. You're muted.
I can stop in and pick it up if that's easier.
Either way, just give us a call if you can't, and we'll put it in the mail. Otherwise, I'll have it on the counter with your name on it, the full-size one. And then I'm
Oh.
sure for the ease of use here, I made some small ones, unless you'd rather the little one.
No,
Or
I
both.
enjoy the bigger or both, yeah. But the bigger one has served me well, but that one's old now, so.
Yeah, that helps at every meeting, because you bring it out and everybody sees, oh, that's what we're talking about. So,
Yeah.
Good, thanks. By the way. if you guys- if you,
So that's not full size. Because I asked
this-
Dave to print me a full size from the PDF he had, so there's a bigger one.
yeah,
Or
full
rather,
size like
we'll
that.
see if that's,
Okay.
yeah.
I would, don't do that until we get the post straightened out. All right, thank you. Zoning reg amendments?
Can I go back to the signs for a second? And so we can continue to discuss signs. So we did get a request, a complaint / request with regard to signs needing to be replaced at Timberland. And the complaint was the Amelia Green Trail sign. And I'm gonna bring up, yeah. Let me share this with everybody. Give me 1 second. Takes me more than a half a second. So these are signs, this would be the trail sign that Steve got from Vital Signs. Obviously, see it on the thing, it's from Vital Signs. As a new trail marker, the request is being made that we add a little bit of context to the sign as to who Amelia Green was. As she was a trailblazing woman. She first registered to vote in Berlin. She started the suffrage movement in Berlin and was an inner city school teacher that started fresh air camps in Connecticut for New York City children, as well as some other things. They do have information with regard to her, as I understand it, at the Historic Society. So any ideas or information that the commission can provide on what or how you, if ever, annotate a sign to direct people for more information, or is it Google it? And I don't mean that facetiously,
No,
but
no.
I mean, that's what my kids would say.
You
You don't know?
I have a comment, but Carl, you first. Go ahead.
I think Carl had his hand up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've got Metacomet Trail. We don't explain who Metacomets were. I mean, we're on Native American land. We've got this is a trail. This is not a kiosk. With all due respect to our complaint, that's outside of the scope of what we're trying to do here. Now, if the commission wants to do that, my opinion would be we'd have to put a kiosk up for every name of every trail that we have in town. I mean, Marjorie Moore was talk about a trailblazer in this town. Marjorie Moore was a trailblazer. Now, are we going to put something up on Marjorie Moore Road? Don Bates, you have to go down Don Bates Road. I don't even know who he is, but you got to go down Don Bates Road to get to Marjorie, to the Amelia Green Trail. It's like, these are trails. They're not like museums. Just my opinion. Maybe I'm a little cranky. Back to you.
This is Joe Mazza. It might be something that, to Carl's point, it hasn't been something that's been done before, right? The signage is about the what the name of the trail is, or those types of things. But if the town thought that this was a good idea, or one of the commissions thought it would be a good idea, almost everywhere you go right now, instead of really large signs with all those words, right, which are really great, you can put a QR code, right, on a sign and point to a website, like something on the town website, to give it full treatment with pictures and an explanation. It could even point over to the Historical Society and say, here's some more information about it. And it's pretty unobtrusive, right? It's just the little QR codes that you see on the bottom of the things. It doesn't really distract from the sign. It really isn't that obtrusive, but it gives you a pointer if you're really interested to go get more information.
That's actually a great idea.
I agree. I think we should stay consistent, and that's great there. And it's the branding that we have that Paul talked about before. It's consistent everywhere. If the Historical Society wants to put up something in the area, then maybe that would be appropriate as well. And, the QR code was, as a kid would say, what it's at. All good points, I agree.
Okay, I
Who brought-
Said
who
I'd
brought
bring
the
it up.
complaint?
wasn't really a complaint, it was more of a, well, the complaint was more about how shabby the signs had gotten. And
Okay,
with the
that's-
suggestion, and it was from the Historic Society.
Okay, well,
You know, so
Historic.
that's, and so Maureen, if I may, Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, but, you know, there's also, you know, like, we're trying to help people navigate trails. And it hurts me to say this because maybe people should be able to do it on their own, but these trail signs are for, you know, helping people get on and stay on trails. You know what I mean? It's their purposes. And I'm not even sure that the Historical Society, which I believe I'm a member of, has a whole lot on their website about Amelia Green. You know, so yeah, that's it. I'm not going to talk for the rest of the meeting. Thanks.
Do we need a motion with regard to replacing the sign that you see? The road sign is separate, that's through Public Works, but the Amelia Green Trail sign,
So is that gonna come out of the open space budget?
yeah, but I think it's maintenance, you know, at the same time, I was wondering, kind of getting my feet wet here as to whether that would be considered maintenance of the trail signs that we have.
So I know I said 30 seconds ago I was going to talk. Do we have a picture of the Amelia Green Trail that's degraded? Because last time I went by there, I don't, unless it's been painted over or something like that, it wasn't bad.
Did it have a
Or
logo?
actually, you know what? No, there was
Bruce Feet.
the old Amelia Green Trail, that like the old wood thing. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, Carl, I'm looking at that. There's a picture posted on Facebook of a thin, narrow one that looks like it's held on to cross posts.
Yeah,
with
from
some-
1976. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
replace that for sure.
It looks like it fell down and it's been strapped up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that one. That's not our current like signing regimen or whatever. So yeah,
No,
I'd be,
it's just a brown, narrow one with the white etched lettering.
yeah, I'd be willing to do that as long as we could also make a motion that dog walkers, that, you know, that is an area where there's a lot of dog excrement too. So, you know, like, let's keep it clean. But I'm sorry, I'll make a motion that we replace the old style 1980s sign in the dog excrement area. Strike that. I'll make a motion that we replace the Amelia Green Trail sign that has existed since the bicentennial with a new sign as kind of like the one that's up on our screen right here.
Yeah, it has to be branded the same way, so, yeah, thank you. And then I can't imagine it would have to be less than, I think we had $300 for the aforementioned fire, no fire, no camping one. So that's less.
We'll try to roll it all into that if it's available, but otherwise there is money in that account.
Strictly for trail identification.
I believe so. I believe Steve said this sign was coming from
Yeah.
elsewhere, but if it doesn't, is that okay as well? Or no? Let's see.
Not our fault, that's just doing it.
Yeah, I think that's the intersection sign. No, that's not that one. Which set of emails? Here we go. He said if any of them may need to go to conservation. Okay.
I'll second that motion. All in favor of that original motion stated by Carl for the open space brand new sign?
Aye.
Unanimous, Maureen. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're back. The first one is a zoning regulation change, which I don't think I have. I'd have to go grab a copy of it. Okay, sorry.
Is there anything that we need to? Is it purview of us at all?
No, that's what I was gonna say. I don't think that one's gonna be purview for the commission. It's an amendment regarding uses in the PSA zone, which is the area of Webster Square and Road and Frontage Road. And it's otherwise an area known for its auto uses and the job lot plaza. The proposed use would be for a location in Webster Square Plaza, but of course the amendment would apply to the entire zone. Again, I don't think it's a built area already. But just making sure, I would rather bring things to your attention in case you do have comments.
And
Um,
Maureen, I'm sorry, it's Joe Mazza. So the proposal is to add a new section under there to say that private transportation or auto rental services are a permitted usage.
permitted usage in the PSA zone.
Okay.
Yes. The next one is the,
I'm sorry, Maureen,
Go
are
ahead.
they, some of the other ones, like the auto service and some of the other ones have a provision that there needs to be a specific permit or license taken out for that? Is that what's contemplated here?
that's a DMV issue as to whether or not their services would require a DMV license. If they require a motor vehicle license for instance, sale and service of motor vehicles, definitely requires a DMV dealer's license. And those are required by state statute to go to the zoning board of appeals.
Mhm.
And that's why they go to the zoning board of appeals for a separate action. I don't know off the top of my head if the leasing services, how their licensing with the state works with regard to that.
Okay, yeah, because it has the same sort of language for gasoline stations. It says, subject to a certificate of approval from the zoning board of appeals.
And that's statutory.
Yeah, okay.
So if it does require statutorily, if it requires the zoning board of appeals, we want zoning, our department won't sign off on their license application to the state, which has a zoning line on it, that zoning has to sign the license before they can apply. And if it needs a signature from our office, then it goes to the zoning board of appeals, whether the regulations say so or not. But most of the regulations, I think all of them now are consistent and say when they have to go. But I'll have to look into leasing a little bit more to see what kind of oversight they have from the state.
Okay, thank you.
No, I don't remember the last time I had one. Should I do the next? Or you
Yeah, is that
introduce it?
fine? Did you talk about this one too?
So 131 New Park Drive is a over 4,000 square foot addition on their existing building that's on New Park Drive. And this is kind of an infill to their entire building. There's like a little notch in the back that they're proposing to fill in. So again, I don't think that's within the overall built out footprint, and I don't think that probably Conservation Commission would have much interest in, but again, you might. And then the 2061 Berlin Turnpike is the site of the old driving range. And they are going to be we just got these applications in a couple weeks, or a week or so, couple weeks for this one, I think. And they're looking to put a building on the back end of it, their side where the Budney use is now on New Park, at that end of the golf course, to put a new building. Yeah, not towards the Berlin Turnpike, but down in the back of the lot. And I don't think I found a digital copy of this, so it's going to be a little difficult.
Is that going to go to wetlands before our next meeting?
So I believe so. It goes to wetlands, I looked up their meetings earlier. I think I have to look up their meetings again. I don't think I ended up writing down the date because I got distracted by something else. Let me just see when their next meeting is. Because it's at their first November meeting and I'm not sure when your meeting versus their meeting is.
Maureen, did they happen to say what the intended usage of the building is?
I love being IT at the same time as staff. Hold on. Makes for a more interesting meeting. Okay, so Conservation Commission meets on the 9th, as does Inland Wetlands. You're both meeting the same night next month. And that's the night it's scheduled for.
And this is the location right where the driving range used to be.
Yeah.
Right, but the building is in with new parking
So.
down range.
Can I hold this up for 1 second for them? Okay. So the Berlin Turnpike is at the top of the map. Up there. And the building's down there. That's their parking lot and their little extension parking lot in, and here's the wetland.
If that's for us, if that's for the people on the,
Yeah, can you see anything?
not at all.
Can't see a darn thing. Okay.
Hey,
I have to try. Good effort. Let me try to bring it up on a shared screen. Yeah. Back to. No, that's not the one I want. Sorry, give me a sec.
No problem. So what I'm going to say, for the commission's benefit as we move forward, and I'm not going to say it again, so we'll say it while, and Maureen, I know you're pulling stuff up, is two things. First of all, will this, I know we're talking about, later in the agenda, talking about rerouting the, New England Trail away from Spruce Brook and Crossing. Is there a possibility there? And the only other thing I'll say is it gets a little wet down the bottom. That's going to be my comments while you're pulling it up so we can save time. I don't think there's any opportunity to pull the Metacomet Trail or the Metabessa Trail across, but just to save time, that those two things would have been my comments.
Okay, so I've now pulled up, this is the driving range property, Berlin Turnpike out here. This is the Budney building, just for everyone to know, this is the location of that addition we just talked about in the last item, is right here in the middle. This proposal is for the new building to be 51 feet from this property line. In would then be a new building roughly in this area. And it doesn't have the number of feet, but let's see, it's opposite about the center of these parking spaces, maybe a little to this end of them. So really the improvements would be in this area. And wetland swath that's shown on the map goes through here. I think it does connect. The wetlands doesn't have a gap in it on there, does it? I didn't see one. No, it gets narrow. So the wetlands through here gets narrow, but it doesn't have this gap as is shown on our GIS maps. As we all know, the GIS map is not completely accurate for the location of the wetlands, but it's a reasonable depiction to know that we should be asking for wetlands data. And they do in fact need to go to wetlands. Is that even close to enough information? Sorry, we don't have it digitally.
No, that's great. So, Carl, where is this trail crossing? Exactly the next item.
Well, the trail crosses on, it comes down on Spruce Brook Road, well to the east of that, travels along Spruce Brook Road, crosses at Spruce Brook and Orchard Road, adjacent to the new, I guess that's package store or whatever like that, and the equipment company across the street. So it's pretty treacherous. And I know this is a conversation that we have to have with CFPA. So, you know, I'm just looking at opportunities and spitballing it. But I know there's been some talk about bringing, particularly with the new acquisition that the land trust did of that property. Well, yeah. So what Maureen's putting on here is what is right now, right? So you see, as she's putting on, Maureen, can you just go out a little bit?
Sure.
So you see it comes down Spruce Brook Road, that's Spruce Brook Road, crosses the Chamberlain Highway and goes onto Orchard Road. Now, I don't know, I believe that New Park is the road south, right, exactly, south there. So I'm thinking, is there a possibility? And again, I don't know, it may be very precipitous, it might be cliffy. I know that there was talk 10, 15 years ago of somehow bringing the Metacomet Trail down, or the Mattabesset Trail, pardon me, bringing it down somewhere near there and crossing just to the, like, I wish I could show you what I mean, but right to the bottom of the, right where New Park comes out.
I actually have that. It's right here. Oh, and they have it crossed down here.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know if that is even going to work. I haven't walked it, so, you know, but anyway, that's a beginning of a talk about that. I know CFBA has been talking about it for 20 years. They have to have willing landowners. They did not have willing landowners on New Park at the time. I think that probably has to do with the fact that Budney and other folks down there are doing like top secret stuff, or if it's not top secret, it's sensitive and they don't want people in their backyards. And I get that, but I just brought it up because I know the next agenda item that we have is the crosswalk at Spruce Brook Orchard and the Turnpike there. So that's you know, that's not a conversation we can even begin here today. I just
Yeah, I think, Carl, one of the this is Joe Mazza. One of the concerns is that regardless on whether it's up where the map shows now or further down, there's no active crosswalk, right? I mean, everybody knows how busy the Turnpike is. Up at the other place, they put in some facilities, or looks like a provision for future stuff, but there's nothing there. There's no crosswalk, there's no signs or all those, you know, the cross now things, right? It's a busy road to kind of put that stuff up.
I think you're right, Carl. I think it's a CFPA discussion. Maybe they need to rekindle it with the landowner there, and they obviously have to interact with the state road. And it's high speed road. I don't know how they feel about people crossing on foot.
So the crosswalk move itself, to remove ourselves from Budney, but back to the crosswalk, is something coming from DOT to create a signalized intersection down here at Orchard Road and the gas station, to the gas station. And that is from DOT, because I got it from, let's see, Item below is an expert from the DOT Town Coordination Meeting on the signalization project on the Berlin Turnpike. So it's part of the signalization project they're doing for the Berlin Turnpike. This is, DOT is looking to coordinate with their group, which was, it went to the CFPA on relocating the trail markers and was looping them in. Let's see. Due to the existing topography and roadside safety devices guardrail, it is proposed to provide pedestrian crossing and ADA ramps that would direct pedestrians along the northbound side of the Berlin Turnpike, which will require removal and relocation of the existing trail markers. And, you know, and a discussion with DOT. So let me see if I can find that. I thought I had the map, but I guess I don't. But basically it is. It's a crossing here. So the trail goes up this side and then through here. Now CFPA did respond that they've had these ongoing discussions, as you mentioned, to relocate the trail. Long been interest in descending from Lamentation Mountain into a different location and exiting onto New Park Drive. So that's still on the radar and remaining on the radar. But the Director of Public Works did feel that this commission should be advised to the conversations with regard to the trail, the pedestrian crossing that, and the movement of that from the 1 block south. I'll just call it 1 block south from Spruce Brook to Orchard. Carl, you're muted again, Carl.
Sorry about that. There should be, in my opinion, no objection to that. It's a distinction without a difference. It's just safer. So I would make a motion that, to the extent that we can, we support the change from marking the trail across right at Spruce Brook and coming down the south side to having the trail go down the north side and go to a new pedestrian crossing directly across from from Orchard Road and Route 15.
Probably without a crosswalk.
But there is a light.
Yes.
We need to formalize that.
I think that would be great, because then I have something to send to Public Works.
Second.
Yeah, Tom made a motion to support. Carl made a motion to support.
Relocating the crossing and enhance the safety. All in favor of that? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you.
So then what we don't have is whether there's any comments or not on the Budney, or if you'd like to look at it again this night that.
Hi, Maureen, this is Guy. Yeah, the one question I had was, it said that that for Budney, you know, a driveway, stormwater management system, and wetlands mitigation area. Everything that we have and where you showed the building being looks, at least at first glance, that it's outside of the wetlands.
Yes, it is.
So unless the building is huge, I'm not sure, you know, where the where the wetlands mitigation ends up being. And I just want to put a note in. You can see some of the brook that's there, Budney's building and there's a pond to the south of it. And then between there and the road, I believe is the channel for the stream. That goes underneath the turnpike and goes all the way around over to Toll Gate and comes out into Belcher Brook. And that's one that we've had problems with in the past with other buildings, the development up the hill to the south of Budney and to the east of the building that you're seeing right now on the screen. And that has come out.
Over in this area?
Yeah, so it would actually, the housing and stuff, I believe, would be like to the southeast of there, even further, that they've had trouble over the years with some mitigation for stormwater coming off of the hill there and down into that brook. And that's been an issue going into Belcher Brook in the past. So my only point is that it doesn't look like much there, but it does drain and it has had issues in the past. So, you know, the wetlands mitigation, I mean, they've got it looks like they have enough property to stay out of any of the official wetlands, but I don't know what they're doing there with that. But I guess my comment would be that they should be encouraged to locate the building to stay out of the wetlands or to really minimize that, because typically wetlands mitigation in low grade area like that, it's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna be much, and it's probably not gonna be all that effective.
It will be added to a runoff, right? 5,000 square foot building would be impervious.
And the town does own that property, right, as it's going, New Park goes into the turnpike.
one?
No, the where the wetlands area is, just to the north of that, on the other side of New
Oh,
Park.
this one. Nope.
Nope, down below, right in there. Just north, go directly north from where you're, yeah, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't see the property
Yeah.
line. I didn't realize there was one
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, and things would have been a lot different. I know, just for we talked a lot about like the trail changing around, and I hope that they figure out something, you know, with the Orchard Road coming in and a walkway. I mean, it's dangerous enough for the cars going through there. I'd be really concerned to be, you know, trying to promote people walking more across there, because there's accidents there all the time. But the Berlin Turnpike Commission, over 10 years ago, had approached Pierre Bennerup about making the Orchard Road entrance onto the turnpike right where you're seeing there now with the two Route 5 numbers, and coming into that location right through there, and then making the rest of Orchard Road a dead end in there and eliminating that busyness that's up there now, and having just a light at that location rather than having it up at the end of Orchard Road, because that would be the new end of Orchard Road. And that potentially, you know, with the trail, you could go, it looks like there's a little access and stuff behind one of the buildings up there. You could have come down New Park and across at that point, if any of that had happened. So
Guy, when you were talking about the residential portions of near there, were you talking about the parcels to the south, like near Hawthorne?
yeah, it's up the hill there somewhere. Yeah, it's that and
like
maybe it's
Sea
this one. Yeah, I think
Sea
it's
green.
right in there.
So can I just tell you that from my experience, those have been flooded this year multiple times because
Yep.
of, I mean, I don't know who did the stormwater mitigation there, but the cellars there are very
Yeah, yeah, and there's been runoff problems, and they've had kind of a dam there that would keep blowing out because it gets enough drainage out of that area. And you can see where Maureen just had the curse, that you can see a small line of the brook there, the intermittent stream that comes down and has caused problems in the past. And then that goes all the way through, and like I said, down across Toll Gate and into Belcher Brook over by Angeli. So but yeah, I mean, so for my comments with the property, like I said, is just try to keep that to a minimum. I mean, seems like at this point, they should be able to avoid most of the real wetlands in there with that size building, I think. Unless they're adding all the additional, right, parking all the way through where the golf course was. And the driving range was, so.
No, I was just looking to see, I'm sorry, I was looking at the plan again. One of the notes on the plan that points to both the parking area here and which will have, looks like a drive coming into where the new building will be, and pointing to the building area and surrounding, is wetlands area impact 3,830 square feet, 250 cubic yards of fill, structural fill, gravel, and pavement will be going in right next to where the building is. Not going up towards the turnpike. They're staying to the west of the wetland, but just because the map wetland does come down more
Okay,
along this area. And mitigation up at the top of the wetland, I'm gonna say probably in about that area. Okay, about where we are. Oh, wait, not. Off the town's property, where the wetland gets the skinniest coming through here. So just adjacent to the wetland area where it kind of narrows.
All right, I think that's good. Thank you. Anything on the garden one?
No, they're wrapping up obviously, but nothing, only that it seems to be running smoothly,
No.
which I don't want to say too loudly. There's some wood around here, but the garden seems to be doing well. And Carol, yeah. I did want to give a bit of an update on Wine Shop, if I may. So an enforcement, okay.
You want to go back to refresh everybody's memory?
So there was encroachment reported on the property at the end of Winesap Road into Bicentennial Park. And hold on, let me get there. On this way. Okay. There we go. Give me a minute. I'm gonna find it. There we are. Am I still I'm still sharing the map, right, guys? Thank you. So there was a reported encroachment into this area of Bicentennial Park by the adjacent property owner. The Engineering, as I reported last month, went out and staked it. Subsequent to that, the property owner did move some personal property, including a gazebo and an RV trailer off of the town property. And they also had some decorations within the town property. They've received a letter that they must cease all encroachment and to confirm that the structures and the personal property has all been moved onto their own land. So we're waiting to hear back from them at this point. There was a question with regard to this grass area and whether or not they've kind of taken use of that as their own. It's the grass area at the easterly side of the cul-de-sac. And in fact, no, our grounds crew does mow that for the benefit of the people parking along there, as well as those walking down the sidewalks, because the sidewalk ends prior to the cul-de-sac. And for visibility and snow shelf and everything else, the Public Works, as the Director of Public Works has always instructed them, as I understand it, it's an area the town has always mowed and will continue to mow along with the, around the edge and then the walkway into the park itself. So that's where that is right now. We're not expecting that to escalate any further at this point. Didn't we discuss that last one? Or did we? So that was a bridge repair that the grounds crew worked on over that bog area, right? Is that what you call it? At the parking area just north of Southington Road. And you authorized the purchase of some wood so that the grounds crew could repair that. I believe so. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I'll get the names right one of these years. I'll get the delineations. The what? They repaired it. Which one did you call it? Bridge repair. I didn't even realize it was on here. I'm sorry. I did? Okay, so maybe which week is it? I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
All right, anything else, Maureen?
I don't believe we have anything else from staff standpoint.
Anybody else have anything?
Crickets.
Okay, got a motion. I propose a motion to adjourn.
Second, Joe Mazza.
Thank you, Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
That was unanimous. Thank you. And thank you to our guests for thank you.
Can't learn how the town runs unless you attend town meeting.
Bye, everyone. For the record, it's
Thank you.
7:49 PM.
Thank you. Good night.
Good luck, guy.
And